As people gather to watch the fireworks here in Arlington tonight, the question is a simple one. Will people celebrate the 4th of July safely, or will this be more like it was on Memorial Day, which makes experts worry that it could make the COVID situation exponentially worse than it is right now?
Extremely concerned, obviously.
This is the Dallas County Health Director, and this is your governor.
It just seems like people are not comprehending the magnitude of the problem.
Both warning us all about the same thing. Back on Memorial Day, when the curve appeared to be flattening, Texas reported just 589 new coronavirus cases in the entire state that day, with a test positivity rate of just 5.15%. But then watch the curve take off. Today, 7,555 new cases reported in a single day, and a positivity rate now of 13.92%, nearly 3 times as many.
These gatherings that took place during the Memorial Day holiday did lead to the spread of COVID-19.
Like if July 4th weekend is like Memorial Day weekend, it would really be essentially catastrophic.
Dr. Huang says people began to let their guard down after Memorial Day, that the numbers shot up as people stopped wearing masks, started going back to their normal routines. Like a week ago at the Stars and Guitars event in Colleyville, people without masks were more common than people with them. And the tailgating looked a lot like normal tailgating tends to be. So as people gathered in Arlington tonight, some distance, some in masks, and a lot of them not, doctors and the governor make the same urgent plea. Enjoy your fireworks while helping keep the COVID numbers from further exploding at the same time.
This is a key point in time for us. We really cannot have July 4th be the same as Memorial Day weekend was for us.
And it could lead once again to an increase in the number of people who lose their lives.
In Arlington, I'm Kevin Roos.